All right, guys, good morning. Welcome to Friday morning, July 31st. Man, I cannot believe that July is over. Just unbelievable. What's going on? Chicken no longer wearing the picture. Twitch management. Nice. The moderators are stepping in. Yeah, I mean, technically, I will eventually have to put caps on because it could just, the amount that you would win, you could just keep dumping. I guess actually there's a limit. There's only so many you can buy. Um, but yeah, there'd be kind of a cap. Um, all right, so pretty interesting 24 hours. Definitely some great movement out there. Ernest, I'm not sure why you're bashing my UK flag. Like I said, I'm gonna have the what's it called, the Union Jack. I'm gonna put it outside proudly because it's just been too good lately. Um, yeah, it's just been great. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many of you guys were able to catch it yesterday, but again, that pound move just was, it was a great move. Um, Definitely a big fan. Got to say, I like it. Um, all right. Again, a lot of dollar movement in the last 24 hours as well. So, um, after we left yesterday, let's go back and kind of review what we saw. The manufacturing data basically came in exactly as expected. So, um, I believe that the market assumed that there would be more from that, and it just kind of, although it didn't miss the forecast, I do believe it was more of a probably a disappointment than anything else. 51.1 and 50.8 is the same, slight expansion. The non-manufacturing PMI did reduce just a little bit, but again, you can see what the Aussies' response was off of it. I think the market had expected more, and that's why we saw kind of a pushback in the overnight. So going into this morning, actually, I guess let's start with like what's happened in the last 24. I would say basically across the board. Again, we have some dollar weakness, but I wouldn't say that that was the main driving factor in the overnight. Some. I would say there's some. I wouldn't say that is that. I wouldn't say that it's the bull in the china shop though. Again, I would say that we also have continued pound strength again. Right, continued pound strength again, up 130, and again that's a bigger than ATR based move. So again, nice. Pound dollar, nice. 100 in the pound yen, not quite where it should be, but again, another pound strength based day. And euro pound, we're seeing it down 18. So not earth shattering, but again, still continuing to be on the downside, meaning again, pound strength. So pound takes the award yet again for the most strength in the overnight. As far as the dollar weakness now, again, obviously the euro dollar looks like it's up big, but again, it's not the biggest boy in the shed right now. And it does kind of have mixed reviews, particularly of the last 4 hours. Again, you guys can see that over in the scanner, right? Oh, I have two scanners up right now. Oh, that's interesting. I'm about to close both those down in a sec. I was like, oh, I don't know which one it's pulling from. Anyway, you can see that there's a little, actually, it's pulling from the other one. So let me close that one. It's kind of interesting. I wonder how I'll pick which one to pull. I didn't realize I had two of them up. But you can see, as of this morning, right now, again, we have some kind of mix, in the last couple of hours. So again, while it's still up, again, it's up versus the dollar. Now, dollar yen down just slightly. Dollar Swiss, again, continued push to the downside. And again, I can say it again. I'm not, I see this one continuing to push down. I've said it every day this week and every day this week, except one. I think it's been continuing to push. Dollar CAD very flat, but again, we do have the GP number. So we're going to cover dollar CAD yen first today, and kind of see where this is at. Expected to be better, 3.5. While not great, I mean, again, last time it was minus 11.6. This one definitely could give us some movement, both in the dollar CAD and the dollar yen. So, 1 pip in 24 hours, that's really nothing. Again, we'll kind of dive into that and see what it looks like. Aussie technically is up, right? Excuse me. Ugh. The coffee is not yet kicking in. I've already had a cup, and I feel like this is the decaf my wife puts in there. It's funny. My wife, who's younger than me, she has like regular coffee past like noon. She can't sleep, so she like sometimes put decaf in. I'm afraid she loaded it with decaf today because I'm still tired and I've already had a full cup. But Aussie dollar, it says that it's up 39 pips, but you guys are able to see this one. In the last I don't know a couple hours, we're down about 40. So big push from yesterday from where we were at chart school, and again we will cover that one. There was a bit of a pullback retracement, but unfortunately, many brokers, I don't think you would have actually gotten your entry, but it did break through. It did, hit the target that we had mentioned yesterday, and actually has pulled back since that time. So we'll cover that. Pound, euro pound. Again, 22 down. It's just kind of a continued push. I wouldn't say that this is earth shattering, but again, it is considered the weakest of the European based pairs. So, you know, I expect we'll see that today. I mean, there's really no additional news. I will say, in like the latest news releases, there's a lot of stuff coming out of the UK. Our plan to reopen is conditional. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Admiral Markets, baby. That's who actually the chart I'm using is coming through Admiral. So they've done well, and hopefully that makes them a bit even more competitive. And then there's a couple other things down here. I thought I saw it earlier, but yeah, there's a bunch of different CAD news about opening responsibly and things like that. I think the UK is doing everything right now. In the news releases that we see coming out about reopening, and you know, over here you see, the chancellor must protect jobs, of those shielding. So the news that's coming out, I would say, is pro UK growth. Pro, I would say, UK, not necessarily nationalism, but I feel like they're not in the, I don't know. I would say that the U.S. kind of media, and it doesn't matter what side of the media you're talking about, it's very much U.S. destructionism, where the UK is more of a positive. Okay, we're going to do this. We need to protect here. We need to grow. We need to be responsible with this. I would say they're much more on board. They have a much more unified kind of front, where I would say that we're not in the same situation necessarily. The left is trying to break down everything the right does, and the right tries to break down everything the left does, and then everybody else in the middle is just trying to, protest and be upset about everything else. So, I would say there's just so much more negativity strewn here, than what we're seeing in the UK. And again, I think that's why the UK is seeing, you know, day after day of strength. Day after day of strength is what we're kind of seeing here. So, um, obviously, right now, again, going into there is no tomorrow. Obviously, tomorrow is Saturday, so there will be no news events. The next thing we have, and I don't think there's anything Sunday. No, there's no Sunday night trades. And I don't think anything. Oops, I don't think anything early Monday morning. No, there's nothing really early Monday morning either. So, for the most part, this is what we're gonna have. I think the GDP is going to be the big mover. The personal spending at 8:30, then 9:45 PMI, and then the revised, sentiment kind of coming in that hour and a half. For the most part, they're all considered more or less neutral. Oh, sorry guys. That's yawn number two today. Jesus, it's definitely decaf. She definitely snuck the decaf into the coffee maker today. Um, I don't know. I think personal spending is probably going to be the biggest telling, unless that. I mean, again, revised sentiment typically doesn't move too much, and PMI, it's better. It's still below 50, but it is getting closer to that 50 number. Um, I don't really know where the surprises would come in this morning. I think this will be more kind of a media runaway. Now, um, the most updated kind of news on the stimulus front. Let's see who qualifies. What's the most recent? Um, oh, Senate majority said he will not approve a stimulus package without a liability shield. Mm, let's see. There's other incentives. Right now, it doesn't. The next stimulus one, I would say, doesn't look great. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. None of this in here. I don't think they've really shown their full hand yet in the last, like the most recent update of it that I can see in here. No. Forbes, $1,000 package proposed. A family of four would get 4,000. Um, oh, wait, who did this one? Let me see. Hold on one second, guys. Yeah. So this one is by Forbes, and it says with negotiations over a round, of another round of COVID relief at a standstill, four Senate Republicans have introduced a bill. So it looks like, I guess, the Romney group with Rubio, Cassidy, and Daines want to do $1,000 stimulus checks for eligible adults and children, and which is 600 more. So looks like they're going for a bigger check. Eh, yeah, kind of. So it looks like they're still going the single check method. I don't know. I think everybody's expecting some type of a stimulus kind of voted, or some type of thing to come today. I think that would be the biggest mover. Like I said, everybody was talking last week about how we have till the end of next week to come up with it. We're at the end of next week, and there's still kind of there's no official stimulus. So I don't know. Everything today is considered medium impact. The consumer sentiment, I think by that point we're already going to know. So what I would look for is, again, early morning movement. Look for trend reversals at 10, and then again be on the lookout for any news releases in regards to stimulus, because again, stimulus is going to be what sets this thing off today. All right. I don't see anything else in here really. No, not so much. This one is interesting too. The worst might be over for the economy, but the future's not so bright either. Yeah, it's interesting. And again, obviously it's the deepest slump, but again, it's the first time we've ever dealt with a pandemic on this level. Um, yeah, but it's interesting, and again, not to get political on all this stuff, but I was in a debate with somebody yesterday that has nothing. He has no idea about the economy. He's like a security analyst, and he's talking about how horrible the Trump has been for the economy. I'm like I don't know. What are you basing it off of? We were supposed to be in a recession 4 years ago, and it took a global pandemic to get us to a stage where we could be actually talking about it. So it's interesting how people see the markets. Remember, guys, and this is just a reminder to everybody, this is not a political stance. Remember, the stock market is not the economy, but, and I will say but, the stock market has been basically, it is the sentiment of the average Joe now that the stock market is the economy. So while they are technically two separate entities, the overall sentiment from the average man is that the stock market is a reflection of the economy. Okay. So, regardless of what chart or what you show, look at the consumer, look where the markets are. And again, we're here to make money. That's why you guys sign into this channel every day. That's, traders, that's what we do. We're looking to make money. So, there are no politics in making money. Making money is making money. But look at it this way, when the markets are this high, why is it there? What factors have got it here? It's not just one side. One side doesn't run everything. Both sides run it. Big business, again, look at some of the biggest, where are the political contributions coming in from, these large, tech companies? What side are they funding? But yet, what are, Apple's profits yesterday were like beyond what anybody could have ever expected, right? And what side do they support? Right? So again, remember, perception is basically reality inside of the markets. And again, that's why a lot of the trades that we're setting up, and again, we're looking at these news releases, is the perception versus reality. Consumer sentiment matters, PMI matters, personal spending matters. People are going to spend money. That's what drives the economy. That's what drives stocks, right? In 2008, when the stock market crashed, it wasn't, everybody was upset, right? So, yeah, kind of interesting. And like I said, I think that stimulus is for all. Stimulus is not for, the red side. It's not for the blue side. I think that's going to be the driving factor, and that's going to be what we have to watch out for most. And again, there's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of money to be made off of that stimulus pack, whatever the final kind of assessment of that stimulus is. That's going to be a matter. Again, if you guys want to make money, you guys are in the markets to make money. Again, keep your ear to the ground. Again, look for that stimulus and see what the stimulus is. Look for who it helps, who it hurts, and overall, again, what the impact is, what it's going to be for Wall Street. All right. Scanner wise today, guys, again, pound is strength across the board. We're seeing a little bit in the last couple of hours, but the pound is up, 146 pips in 24 hours. It's hard to say that, it isn't, showing negative strength. It's showing some consolidation, but yeah, okay, sure. And then dollar CAD as well. It's showing a little bit down, but I wouldn't say the CAD is really a powerhouse right now. It's more consolidating. I would say that this is all just more of a near-term kind of morning piece. It's strong across the board. Aussie, for the most part, is weak. And again, I think a lot of that has to do with the Chinese figures. Okay, the birds really want to get on this analysis this morning, too. They are all there. I want to talk. They obviously have an opinion about this. Aussie's weak across the board. And before somebody asks, they're not parrots. Wait, what? Decaf, ever hear me drinking decaf? Called 911. Yeah, I'm telling you. She puts it in. I don't know. She's like, yeah, I can't sleep if I drink any, regular coffee afternoon. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I could drink it at 9 p.m. at night and still go to sleep. I got no problems with that. Aussie week across the board. CAD, I'd say CAD, if anything, is giving us a little bit of strength. Obviously, it's down a little bit in the last 24 hours. But again, where you're seeing the CAD, the two kind of leading pairs, you are seeing it up confirmed on the 4 hour, both for the yen and the Swiss. And then its secondary position is kind of where it turns red here. But again, that is giving us a little bit CAD strength. So I wouldn't say it's a major driving force, but again, with GDP numbers today, it is kind of under focus right now, and we are seeing CAD strength for the most part across, more or less every base pair except the dollar CAD. Euro, as I mentioned before, Euro, kind of mixed, kind of mixed. I would say that they have rounded the corner, for lack of a better word, on the weakness, but I wouldn't say that they are driving force like the pound is right now. And then again, dollar is kind of mixed right now. It is showing dollar strength. The $3 firsts are in the blue. The dollar seconds are in the red. Getting a little bit of pullback, right? Getting a little bit of pullback, but I don't think it's over. I do think, as soon as you talk stimulus, it's going to decrease the value again. So this may just be the calm before the storm. And again, the type of package and size of package is going to matter the most. Okay, the type and size of package. So we'll see. again, I think that's going to throw this entire basket into a kind of tizzy once we hear it. All right, so with that said, there's no additional moves. Let's go right over to charts. Let me close this down. I actually said that we're going to start with dollar CAD first today, so let me switch over to dollar CAD. All right. Whoops, I didn't switch it over. Royalty just showed up. Royalty? Oh, the birds. Oh, you know what? Ernest, there you go. The sound is probably better right now. No. Oh, Debbie? Yeah. No, your sound probably I forgot to switch the thing over again. So it would have been low sound because it was going to pull from one of the alternative microphone sources. It probably sounds much better now. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so dollar CAD is first. We got news in 15 minutes. Yeah, well, this is what it should have sounded like from the very beginning. So, yeah, my bad. No, Ernest, you weren't crazy. But, Ernest, the fact that nobody else said it, that we went through 16 minutes and nobody said the volume was low, I should give you extra pip chips for that today. What I should do is give you extra tickets to unseat Debbie today is what I should do. For saying it. Nobody else said it. Look at that. Look at that. Ernest, you're my boy. You're my boy, buddy. Look at that. Nobody else tells me except you. Extra pip chips, but they all have to be using additional tickets today. Will's like, all right, I'll buy some. Yeah, it should be good. Okay, guys, readjust your sound. I will talk low. Readjust your sound. Sorry. Remember, I have 2 buttons. Although I will say, guys, I was starting to reconfigure a new streaming software tomorrow. I'm getting tired of having to keep hitting buttons and this and that and this and yeah. It's just kind of a pain. So I'm probably going to change streaming software. So I've already started to kind of redo the configuration, and I don't have to change volumes around. It's so much easier to see, but it is different. So there's going to be a learning curve. All right, dollar CAD. Basically, looking at this right now, we've seen that we are nothing but more basically sideways movement. Excuse me. We've been chopping back and forth, right? About 25 pips top to bottom. Here's where we're sitting right now at 8 o'clock. Yesterday, we were sitting right here, right? In basically the same exact spot. So we really haven't moved. A little bit down, grab the zone, a little bit up, a little bit down. Again, consolidation across the board. Looking at this on an hourly, okay, there's kind of a clear picture here. I can remove this down, delete that off. So the picture we see here is we got a very, very large increase in price, right? Yesterday on the 30th. Now we've seen kind of basing. We've seen it push up. We've seen it push lower. We talked about a level at 134.35, and we kind of went above and kind of went below. I mean, we're kind of flirting with just the very, very top of this zone. And again, these 2 here that we had marked off. We didn't get the clean entry up top that we were looking for. Okay. At this point, though, we've seen this kind of top come down, right? We've seen a high, a lower high, lower high, lower high. So again, it's kind of in a more or less a flag pattern, right? But with the overhang right here, again, Canadian news is expected to be, 3.5. That is definitely a plus above. And if it's any higher, that's going to definitely hit us with some CAD strength. Now, we have seen CAD strength across the board against all the other pairs, with the exception of the dollar CAD, right? The dollar CAD is the only one that kind of threw that kind of piece off. So one thing I'm looking for here is, again, this kicks in about 15 minutes. I'm actually looking for a short position here. I'm looking for us to kind of overtake here. I'll use this piece. I won't use that one. I'll use this one right here. There's a big block right here where we have a retracement level, right? Now, question is, again, with 10 minutes to go, is there something tradable off of this one? It would be better if we were up top. But what I would look for, and again, probably the easiest way to play this one. Let's see, how much do we got here? Yeah, we got more than enough there. All right, so there's a trade as soon as we break, approximately in this level. Here, let me make this bigger so you guys can kind of see it. Now, again, there's a couple ways. Again, there is an aggressive way to do this and a less aggressive way. So we've had price kind of bouncing off of this level. We know there's another little bit of a zone there. So, technically below this price level with a punch through, there will be a short. Okay, now, that short does have the additional risk associated with it because we've had a number of tests down here. This does have the risk associated with it as being a trap. Now, again, I am on a 15-minute. There is a zone sitting right here. So I think a way that we could potentially play this today would be, looking for somewhat of a retracement back again. This white area, I'm going to delete it because that's where we're kind of looking as far as profit-wise goes to kind of overtake. Whoops. No, not that one. We're looking for that kind of piece. So one way that we could play this, again, is one of those continuation patterns. it'll be something along these lines to the downside. We got a bit to move. We got about 25 pips, which is really nothing. That could definitely, this GDP number could definitely spike us down. And again, additional weakness would actually, would actually favor us, right? Chicago PMI being worse, personal spending, again, that'd be at the same time. But then the consumer sentiment, all those things would kind of help us. Stimulus package would also help us if that gets released today. So what I would say is looking for some type of a short. Again, here would be that confirmation entry to the downside. You can take it aggressively as we break or look for the confirmation. But again, I think overall targets today need to be down into the 133.46 range for this. The only thing that would kind of that would unseat this is a proper entry was if that forecast for GDP comes in as a negative and this thing goes back up. But I will say if we do pop up to probably, this zone probably not bad, but maybe even the higher one. Again, this is about 34, 35 pip move. I think if we do go up today, I just don't see us getting dollar strength or ending on a dollar high today. I think if we go up and grab this zone, there may be another short. So, potential targets down here at 133.43. I would say that, breaks below this 133.85. Look for retracements back up in. Continuation, your 1 to 3 is fine. Your 1 to 5 is probably fine as well. But again, being on Friday, it will get slow in the afternoon. That would be a total move of about 65, 70. So, from where we are now down. So it could definitely happen today with what we have. All right. Now going across to CAD Yen. So CAD Yen, we're actually pulled back up in a zone. So let me bring this one back up a little bit higher. So CAD Yen, we had this rally all the way down. Again, this was, basically just CAD weakness. And we've seen that kind of all week, just dropping. Unfortunately, we don't really have a lot of clean entries right now. Yeah, these are trash levels right now. And I was hoping we have a better entry on this one. Man, we're right in the middle of the zone. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to take this on CAD Yen. Unless we get a pop. Let me see. 63. ATR is 70, 60. It's kind of a bit of a retrace. I can take all these old shorts out. Let me get these shorts out. That short was good. This is high. We can remove that. I'll take this over here. Actually, I don't need that right now either. So the problem with this one is this level here. I don't really love this level, right? The level's actually there more than anything else. It's about 26. So there, if we can hold that short, if we don't burst through that top, there could be a potential short here with some good positive CAD news. Not my favorite of levels. Again, we've already hit it. It has retested though, so again, it does give us that one bit of confirmation. I would say shrink it, a bit into this level, but again, it's not a very large zone. We're only talking about 9 pips anyway with the entire zone. So, probably worth that hit. That comes in approximately at 78.37. Okay, profit targets are sitting down here on this short, and they're sitting down here. Now again, of these two, I like the dollar CAD better. I don't like this one as much. This would be something more of a kind of quick pop up and then a retrace down based off the movement. But the way that this is moving already in the last hour and a half, it looks like a lot of this has already been pushed in. It does, based off the last 3 hours, it does look more like this one is entering into type of, looking for a short position more than anything else. Which is kind of interesting that we've had this much movement in the overnight. And again, a lot of this is, positioning itself for GDP. But this is a lot of early morning movement for the CAD. All right. So we may get an entry. We may not. We'll see. 78.37. All right. Let's jump across the Aussie. So here's the Aussie, guys. We talked about this yesterday, having an entry. It did punch through that level. We said, hey, listen, if we got a break, it's not going to hold. Look for a pullback. It did punch through. We did get a pullback. It just missed the entry on that one. Again, you may have taken this on a green, red, green. You could have traded it that way. But we had talked about going long, having one target here, 2 targets here, and you can see right at target 1, right past it, it leveled off and based. Right at target 2 again, it leveled and based, and it came back down. And it's interesting. Interesting enough, there was your second piece of that. Okay. again, we continue to push higher. Now, it broke some levels up here, and I mentioned before, this is about the only aggressive entry we had. As you can see, again, that was where our target was. We needed to make sure that we were out. We weren't necessarily looking for a short here, but we were looking to make sure that we were out before that position. And again, perfect. It hit it and pulled back down again. Then what did it do? Interesting enough, boom, right there. Another Harry Potter continuation through to the top side. Hit one, hit both. Now, we're punching back down again for this one. Obviously, in the overnight, this one has had some problems. Again, basing back to really early morning, and again, we started hitting these peaks last night around the Asian news. Right here was kind of that first initial spike. It dropped it. Now, it did give us kind of a. I wouldn't say this is an ideal failure to go higher. Again, we're on a 30-minute. We did not get the candle we liked, did not get it, and then we finally got it in. So there's been a couple levels. There's actually 2 wick over wicks here that have kind of formed for itself. I still believe that this is retracing this kind of push. Now, this is a dollar strength move. I don't know if we're really going to get that dollar strength move today. If anything, I'm wondering if we come down, we flatline on the white level that where we were at last time. But on a technical level, stimulus aside, and again, we know the stimulus is there today, so it's kind of like if we can get an early morning hit, great. But if not, I'm not going to stress out about it. There is about 40 pips back to the downside. I think if you have any shorts today, I think you need to make sure that you were out before 73.32. I do think we're going to have a hiccup in this area, though. We had a little, again, punch, pull back, right? That's the one we talked about, that continuation. The second continuation off this level as well. And again, you guys can see, not only did it hit this level here and bounce, right? Had I done the same exact thing on this side, right there, what do we go off of? The 1 to 3 off that same level, okay? We're kind of going through it right now. So, there may be a position sitting here as well, okay? But we are basing through it. So it is having a little bit more of an issue. But isn't it amazing? Look at this. We hit here, right? We pushed down. What did it do? It acted as a profit target, pulled back. Then it came up, and it also served as the entry, again, off this level. It previously violated zone. Harry Potter traded the top side. Boom. And then what did it do? It came back down, acted as not only a target, but a base off. And then now it's coming back down and it's basing in the same level again. So it's amazing how long these levels are lasting. But, that would be the short I'd be looking for. I think the 1 to 5 is a little bit risky being in that zone, but I think it'll hit. And again, there's another short below that. I just don't know if we've run out of time today or not. But any short side targets, be very cautious. Get yourself out by 71.32. All right. Aussie yen. Not as spectacular, right? So we're here right now. Oops, let me move this aside. We're here right now. We were sitting right here yesterday. Okay. All we did is we came back down to the 74.93 level. It didn't even really hit we talked about this being the bottom. It really didn't do much, right? All it did is it hit the level, went all the way back up again. We didn't get entry. We were looking for 75.50 as an entry. It made it to 42. So we missed it by about 3 pips entry, and it kind of fell back down again. So still sideways consolidation on this one. We will have some movement with the yen today, obviously. I don't know. This one to me looks more flat than anything else. Like I said, we are really, really stuck in this zone. And again, it's it's in the bottom third. It's middle. I would say it's in the bottom of the middle. That's probably just a bit above. I don't know. I'd like to see some Aussie weakness today. I don't know if the yen is going to give it to us, but I'd like this to get down. I'd like it to be at 74.50. I think that's the first area I'd be really looking to take some type of a long position in. Now, I will say this on the 30-minute. Okay, the 30-minute, we do have a lot of these levels. We got little tiny level here. We got a little level here. We got little levels here. There are a lot of little levels depending on where we close. This one is looking like it wants to give us a Sunday entry. Okay, remember, if we gap into one of these levels on Sunday, that's an immediate trade on Sunday night for that open. Particularly if it's in the in the direction of the current trend. Right now, I don't know which one it's going to be. Like I said, they're so consolidated in. We're inside of like a 30, 40 pip range. Yeah, I just don't know which one we're going to go to. Like I said, this one up top is close, but it's such a small zone. It's only about 6 pips, sitting up here. There's a potential. And again, this actually could be, because the yen is involved, this could be a 10 o'clock reversal. We're not very far from it right now. We're only about 12 pips. It can move 12 pips in an hour and a half. but we'll see if it can make it through, Chicago revised PMI. So let's check to see what the news did. What did the GDP number come in as? Okay, so GDP number came in good. So it was expected to be 3.5. It came in higher than expected. Now, it is going to be slightly blunted because this figure also, again, personal spending came in, and that's not bad. It's less than what we were before, but more than what the overall market. So the negative sentiment got ahead of this one. So again, it is kind of two positive dollar readings right now. 90.45 will be the next time for us to disappoint, but 4.5 versus 3.5, is definitely nice. So let's see. Where is dollar CAD? Okay. Again, not much movement. Again, this one is kind of tempered, and we'll see how that comes in later. And again, not as much movement over here. It's still, is expected to be good. It's good. We'll see if we can actually get up to that. So that's actually a good sign. So if we can get that positive momentum and continue to push higher, again, this is a much better chance because there's not a spike associated with it. So that could be good. So 75.51 on that one. Euro. So Euro, we had actually an entry here. You guys can see that this came in and pushed to about 90% of the way, right? Here's that level, pull it off. And again, we mentioned this before. Let's see. You know what? I'll just drag it across. Easier that way. Okay. So you can see there was your entry and it made it all the way back down. Again, is this a possible turning point? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you have a base like this before the level, you got to be very cautious about getting profit in time. And again, the profit did come. It came and it turned right where it should have. Again, these are those wicks that I like a lot. And we ended up punching back into that zone. So at this point, we're still in the upper reaches. I would say, if anything, I'm bearish. Looking to be bearish. Again, very, very high in the curve. We've already seen it push back. It is basing through. So again, it does have a lot that it's going to have to chop through. And in the last hour and a half, really 2 hours, we've really kind of punched this sucker forward. Again, strong push down. It retraced all the way back up again. So again, nice big push. I would say look for a flip roll around on this one as well. And that actually, also matches in with what we see in the markets, right? We see stimulus that will help the overall economy. That should give us the bounce. Again, we should see some type of pound strength come in from that. That would help drag this back to the downside as well. So I don't have an entry right now for it. Like I said, we had this short, made it about 80% of the way through the 1 to 3. It turned exactly where it should have. The screen went black at EU. For me, audio was clear. All right, so you were able to hear that the whole time then. That was weird because the streaming software was showing advancing forward. I don't know. So could you hear it before? I don't know. I'm not sure if you could hear it, couldn't hear it. So the screen froze and you could hear, or you couldn't see anything? I don't know. Technical difficulties. Maybe the computer is on decaf today too. I can hear it, but the screen went black. So you could hear it the whole time. So do I need to go back and do the analysis again, or no? Okay, you guys should have been following in your charts. Okay. Yeah, so we're good. All right, so if you had the audio, I'm not going to go back again because I actually do have to. I do have to run at 9:00 today. Need to go. I promised the wife, not wife, I guess ex-wife. I promised the boy's mother that if I let them play in the last lacrosse tournament, because a lot of teams, a lot of people, that I would go get the kids COVID tested. So I have to go take them to get COVID tested this morning. So I've had audio, but no. All right. So basically, guys, NQ, you guys can see the picture now. What I'm looking at. Like I said, I thought this move up and down was going to be more of the punch from the stimulus bill. Apple ended up giving us the punch forward. So I do think we are in kind of all-time high territory today for the NQ due to the Apple push. Now, there will be a bit of a pullback, but I think when the stimulus bill is released, I think we will get that punch forward. As far as the S&P goes, let's see. S&P right there. Now, you can see S&P is coming off a 4-hour level. Right, there's the 4-hour level that we mentioned yesterday. In kind of a similar situation. I mean, this got drug up, but I think we are more or less in kind of the same situation. We have some sells up here at 32.87. It literally hit the front of that zone and turned and flipped on us on the hourly. Kind of surprised by that, and you guys can see again those previously violated zones. This zone got flirted with, punched through, came back and retested, and then punched higher. So this is all consolidation again. I think they are waiting for the stimulus kind of release. Intraday, again, I think we could have potential shorts here at 32.87. In the grand scheme of things, Could this go higher? Yeah, it could. It could. And again, you can see it on the the right up there. 33.59, I think, would be where this one has the potential. Now, like I said, a lot of this is again assuming that there will be some type of agreement or some type of again, true stimulus mention. And here I can actually I'll just continue this across. It's probably easiest. Okay, approximately right there. Okay. Right now, I would say it's going to be more or less to the down. It looks like it wants to push lower at this point. Now, there's this, actually, I should have not deleted that. There's a zone sitting right here as well. Look at this, the way these candles are formed. So 32.43 is probably a consolidation point. Again, if it continues to push down, 10 o'clock would be when that reverses, most likely off that. Yeah, like I said, I think this one also has the same potential. We're basing this turnaround point on kind of a combination of an hourly zone and a 4-hour zone. I don't think the talk of new stimulus, again, if it's big, I don't think that this zone can hold. I think this has the ability to push higher. And again, if we do get a big, huge spike, again, we have that level sitting, a bit higher here at, 33.59. Let me bring this across. Whoops. I hate when it does that sometimes. 33.59. Right, is where we have another level kind of kicking in at. Okay. All right. So would love to say I'd like this short, but unfortunately with stimulus coming today, I think this one is going to go up again. And the Dow. So the Dow's been a bit more sideways. Okay, so here's where we were. And again, you guys can see that we had this kind of entry that we're looking for. So here's where price currently is. And then again, 8:30 yesterday, we were sitting right here. Right. And again, we talked about it being a down day. We wanted a break of this level. We did not get the break of the level, unfortunately. It hit and used that as kind of an area where it took off of. And we mentioned that, right? I mean, we mentioned it like, hey, listen, this zone down here at 26, 059, it's an area that's been hit. If it hits the level and goes the other way, no problem. It didn't give us the entry. And this is exactly what happened. It literally pushed it to the very, very brink and then took a bounce off that level. So it's gone back up into this 26,543. And again, we marked that level off yesterday. That is what it turned and kind of rolled back over on. I would say right now, again, where we are, it does look like it wants to be negative. There is some consolidation. There is a level sitting right in this area right here. So it's not surprising that it's bounced off of it. I would say, again, if it can break this level, it does look like it has the ability to push lower. Again, based off what we see here in the candles. The problem is, when is that stimulus coming in? It is going to be the big issue. Again, the Dow is not going to have the same type of reaction as obviously the NQ would, because again, it's not as linked and not as heavily dependent upon Apple. And that's why that one is moving more. I would say, again, I don't see I find it rare that, we would get a huge disappointment in the stimulus.